Hi guys, it's Amy and you have found Amy Loves Crochet. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. I do appreciate your time. I want to talk about some Vanna's Choice yarn today. I finished a project that I'm really super excited about and I can't wait to share it with you. And I wanted to say that I've had this yarn for a very, very long time. So I wanted to find out how accessible it still is, and it absolutely is. So this is the most recent catalog from Hirschner's. It's spring of 2024, in case your outer cover gets ripped off. That's the front of it. And these are really great to kind of shop through to get some ideas. Like, I'm working on something in my mind, something that I saw like posted online, and it's a very specific color that I want to find. And I'm not ready to dive into that project until I can find all of the colors that I'm going to need for this project in the same yarn, but very specifically driven by this one color. So I'll tell you about that when I work on that project. But I was able to go through here and kind of look through a catalog, you know, all right there, what different blues, because not every make and model of yarn comes in the same specific color that you're looking for. So anyway, so this is where I got this information from. This is the flyer for Vanna's Choice, so it's still very current, very relevant. I'm covering the price. It is $4.99 a ball. It's a 4 medium, 100% worsted, 100% acrylic yarn, and it's got quite a few color choices to pull from. Now this one does not have a label, but I believe it to be, they're all numbered, number 105 silver blue, just here. So the yarn is sitting with that. I don't remember that it isn't that. It looks very much like that, so that's what I'm calling it. I also have some purple in the colorway Dusty Purple, number 146. And then I'll show you against the other purple that I have, which is a gorgeous, like, kind of eggplanty color, and it's just called Purple, 147. So you can see they've got like a dusty, this one's kind of like a country color, and then this one's super deep and rich. So those were the purples. And then I've got a bunch of this Kelly green from, I ordered, I'm 100% sure this was an order that I made for, because my niece Kayla, hi Kayla, she is a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan, and she wanted some beanies made up for her boys that had the different specific color masks for each of the guys, but the hats themselves were made with the Kelly green. And I still have 1, 2, let's say 3 skeins of that. So that'll be nice. I think that this is going to be like my next scrap blanket idea, or my next scrap idea, because I've got so many bits and pieces of the different colors. This one is gorgeous. I hope it shows up for you. It's called Rust. It's number 135, and each of these is 100 grams until you get to the prints, which are only 85 grams. This is the only print that I have. It's called Woods print. It's brown and grays and black, and I did make a hat out of this, but you completely lost the pattern because of how dark it is. So I think, again, this will just go to like a scrap type of situation, or maybe I'll get another, I think just that. And then this brown that I have that is called Chocolate, number 126. So the Hirschner's ad is just for solids. I don't know how available the prints still are, but the main color, the star of our show today, is the colorway, I'm dropping balls of yarn down here, number 149 Silver Gray. And this is a project that I started. So this is how I know I've had this yarn for a very long time, because I bought all these different colorways. I remember buying somebody's lot on eBay that had some different Vanna's, you know, mixes and matches, and that's where this Woods print came from. I remember that specifically. Oh, but we also have some Vanna's Baby, and it kind of looks pretty much the same as far as all the specs go, so I just have it in use. I have 1 full skein plus this half of a skein, so it'll just go, again, together. It's been sitting on a shelf for years together, so now it's going to go in a project together. But yeah, so this is what the old labels looked like back in my day, that most of this is labeled as. So rewind. So I had bought a bunch of this so I would have a bunch of different colorways in my stash, kind of thing, as I was building up way back when. So when it came time to making a cardigan, I was seeing Pamela's Adoring Crochet. She made this great, I think it's called the Everyday Cardigan or something like that, the Essential Cardigan maybe. And I started to make it and couldn't keep up with the counts and only had a big square back piece and got done with it, put it to the side, never picked it up again. Finally shared with you that I was empowering myself to frog it out and had a whole bunch of skeins left from that. And so even when I was starting to make her cardigan, I bought more. I bought this 3-pack. It's a whole new label, as you can see, a whole new updated label. But the color looks to be the same, so I was pleased with it. Gonna make the big old sweater, whatever. It didn't work out. So frogged it, had the yarn sitting here forever, and finally came up with, I saw, this is where we start actually talking about the pattern. I saw, what is her name? Tuula Maaria. She does great tips and tricks. I love her voice is very easy to listen to. I enjoy her mannerisms, and she teaches a lot of little good tidbits here and there, as well as tutorials. So this project that she was sharing is 3 rows of mesh at the same time. Now she's also got a pattern tutorial for 2 rows of mesh at the same time. And you all know, if you know me, you know I've got some patterns for 2 rows of half double crochet at the same time and 2 rows of double crochet at the same time. So 2 rows or 3 rows of mesh at the same time was very, very intriguing to me. And I saw this picture, I'll insert it right here. When I saw this picture, I knew what I was going to do with my Vanna's Choice yarn. So I started to make some of these panels. I started making Tuula Maaria's 3 rows of mesh at the same time to make this project, and found out that it was not working. So I had to change it up in normal Amy fashion. So let me just jump to it. Oh, and before I take this off, I just want to share my, this is the Vintage Peach Shawl pattern by Annie Design Crochet, and the yarn color that I used was All My Peach, so I just love it, and it blocked up very nicely. It's DK, it is treble crochet V-stitch pattern, and it works it very quickly. So I'll link this below because it is so gorgeous, but I do have I'll link the video that I made with wearing this. So this is where I want to do, are you ready? I'm so excited. Ready? Ta-da! So it isn't perfect. It's a makeshift pattern, as I always end up with, but so the pattern works long ways. So when I was making this, I wasn't able to kind of change it up as I wanted to. I was kind of matching. I made the first panel and then decided to make the other side to match it, and then had to make the back side to match it. So one of the things that I would do differently is work in the other direction so that I could change it as I wanted to go. What else I could have done was, instead of adding the 3 mesh rows, I could have incorporated adding only 2 mesh rows at a time, and I should have done that. When I had laid out the panels to be how wide they should be for me, and I used my recent, I love this chunky finished painted canyon cardigan that I did a video on. I'll link that below as well because I love it. So I used that as my, my template. I laid that out on the table, and then I laid out my panels. Well, I didn't incorporate how I wanted to join those panels. And what I did was I learned this, I think it's called the Lattice double crochet join. And so it looks exactly the same as the mesh along the side. You can't tell unless I point it out where I've joined the 2 panels here. So I didn't incorporate how much wider that would be. And I should have allowed for a little bit of stretch and maybe done 1 less row of 3, or maybe did those in rows of 2 or whatever. I totally have it in my mind how I want to work it differently, and I'm super excited. So I just had the panel go across here over my shoulder. It met down at the bottom. I worked up the side and pinched where I wanted the sleeve to be. I did not want it long sleeve. I just wanted it short sleeve. And I like along the back, you can't really see where the seams are. If you do, it kind of maybe it just looks a little bit like, what's that when you do a dress and you do the pinching right here? A pleat. So that's what I'm hoping for anyway. But so if I had it to do over, I'm trying to get back a little bit farther. If I had it to do over, I would want it to be a little bit longer. That's kind of what I was looking for. But that's what it ends up. It is a little bit big, like I say, but I didn't want to do anything more in the front. This is just about how I wanted it to be. I just did a double crochet row. At first I did a single crochet row all the way around, and then did a double crochet in each of those. So I like it. I think it's great. It could be a little bit smaller for me. I know what to do for next time, but I'm super excited with it. So this is, I weighed it out, it's 350 grams. That's the thing, when you're working with scraps, you kind of never know what you had or what you started with or whatever. So I just weighed my finished project, and, you know, not to account for any ends that you have to trim off and stuff like that. This weighs 350 grams. So I have about 450 grams of just this same color. If I wanted to do another one and try to make it a little bit more narrow to fit a little bit closer to me, and a little bit longer, we might see how that goes. Otherwise, the rest of my Vanna's Choice, I think, is a good opportunity to clear out another cubby. As you know, that sometimes drives what project I'm going to work on next. And yeah, I have scraps here and there, you know, scraps from other things that you collect to make a scrap blanket. But something like this where you know, it's quite more of a scrap, but I really like to keep types of yarn together. So I'd much rather make it into a, you know, colorful, scrappy kind of thing of all Vanna's Choice yarn to use up my stash in that regard. So I will list Tuula Maaria's videos down below for this is 3 rows of the mesh at one time, and she's also got one that's 2 rows of mesh at the same time. So very, very excited to get this kind of worked up, and, you know, yay, I couldn't wait to share it with you. So thanks for sitting with me today, guys. If you have any of this Vanna's Choice and got 350 grams, I think this would be a great project for you to work on as well. Thanks for sitting with me. I said that already, but I really, really mean it. Have a wonderfully blessed day, and please do come back and see me again. Thank you. Bye-bye.